Hi guys, I'm Harshal Patil. I'm from Team One, and our team name is Six Underground. And I'm presenting here so social responsible investing. Next slide. Our problem statement is millennials and Gen Zs are conscious about when it comes to supporting the companies that are not supporting their business toward the environmental betterment. And as of now, there is no free tool or website that can provide them the company stock price with all responsible score and ESG score. And we are here providing a solution like a free tool so they can view the company stock price and the ESG score at one place. This free tool, so the free tool will provide the social responsible rating of the company along with the most recent available article written about the company as a part of diligence when researching. The site will also partner with the third-party platform to allow the investors to create account and beginning the investment investing in the company of their choice. Next slide. And we are using these technologies to complete our project. Like project management tool is Jira, and we are using ID Visual Studio Code, and we our coding is done in Python, and we use Django framework for backend, and for front end we are using HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap, and we are using the Y-Finance API to pull the data about uh, the company of the financial status of the company. And the next slide will be explained by Samar.
Hi, my name is Samarth, and I will be explaining the personas of our project. So end user persona is something which is a target customer, which we will be targeting for our product. So here we have Donna, a 24-year-old recent college graduate who has some savings, her hard-earned money, which she is looking forward to invest, but she is really new to the field of investing and doesn't know anything about it. So she's looking for some kind of like credible guidance which will help her out to invest her money, and we will be doing that by providing an environmental, social, governmental score of the companies which are really doing good financially and environmentally, which will keep her investment safe and less risk with a high rate of interest and with a good return on her investment. And like we have other personas too, like can you move to the next slide? We have influencer persona, and next slide we have anti persona also, and we have like the user stories. So user story is something which like the customer will be doing and what he or she will be experienced when they visit our website. So as an end user, Donna clicks on the search bar to enter the company names and see the latest stock price, which is like the stock price that is currently trading in the stock market, and ESG data, and the historical financial data of the company, and the features and in which field the company is working on. And the acceptance criteria is basically the customer experience. So any relevant company name into the search will return the latest stock prices, ESG data, and historical financial data of the company. And another user story is the end user clicks on the investment to invest in the company, and that is which will redirect the user to the third party website, and they will get a chance to create their account there, and from there they can invest into stocks and other things. And that's what like our second user story is. Thank you. Next explanation will be given by Farhan.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Hi, my name is Mohammad Farhan. Yeah, let's get started with the system architecture. Here we can see the whole system architecture that we are using in the socially responsible investing in our website. So basically we are using Yahoo Finance as an API, and we are integrating with the Python in the backend. Once we get all the data, yes, we are using Node.js as a backend server to run the applications. And once we have all the data that we are getting from Yahoo Finance, it's almost about 20 different features that we are getting from Yahoo Finance. Once we have that, we are sending it from the back end to the front end. In the front end technology, again, we are using Python and Django. And once we have, once this application is fully running, client can see and access, client can access the socially responsible investing SRI website from the browser, usually from the local machine. Yeah, can you please go to the next slide, please? Samarth? Yeah, so MVP, the minimum viable product. So basically in our application, we have a search bar where a user can search for different companies' name, and we have automatic recommendations. So once the user don't have to enter the company name fully, once he enter the partial name also in the search bar, the search bar optimization technique is utilized here, and it automatically detects the full company name. And the second thing, once the user entered the company name and he clicks the search button, we will have the whole ESG data displayed in different tabular forms. We have environmental data separately, environmental score separately, social score and governance score together. Score also we have separately. So the scale is going to be around from 0 to 40. So environmental ESG score will determine the corporate sustainability, and the resulted ESG data is displayed in tabular forms, as I told you earlier. And the historical data of individual companies for all the companies is available in our website, and the data is available up to 12 months, and the data is weekly data up to 12 months is available. Yeah, can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah, there we go. We have test cases. SR application, we have search bar. User can enter the company name and it will detect automatically, and this is working fine. So this test case is passed. We are getting the data, and submit button. Once the user has entered the company name, once he submits it, we are getting the data from the backend. Even this test case is also working. We are getting in environmental, social, and governance score individually. We can see it on the screen. Clean and clear. Yeah, and total ESG score is also fully working, fully functional. And one important feature that we would like to highlight is the stock price and historical data. Stock price is updated on daily basis, so user can directly check the stock price on the market of a particular company, and it is fully functional. Historical data, as I said earlier, it is available for the data is available on weekly basis for the past 12 months, and the test case is passed, and we are getting the data in the tabular form. Okay, so if user wants to invest in that company, we have a invest in this company button. So that that thing is actually under progress, so that is not working right now, so the test case is failed. It will return nothing for now, but in future definitely yes, we are working on it. So in the next sprint or next deliverable, I hope it will be ready. So yeah, next slide will be explained by Mr. Louis Jeff. He will be explaining about the sprint and product backlog. Yeah, thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Jeff Louis Jacques, and I'm going to be talking about sprint 1 through 4, and also recapping on our product backlog. So to kind of recap where we started and where we ended up, initially for sprint 1, we were slightly behind schedule with our first sprint. So the way our sprints were set up, we did not do it by hours, but we did it by items. So as you could see on the top screen, total tasks in scope are about 15. So what we did is from the inception of the actual goal to the date it was due in class, we basically just list out those different tasks, and depending on the time frame that it was going to take to accomplish it, we would identify like a due date. So overall, for our first sprint, we had about 15 tasks that needed to be completed. Part of that includes like our weekly stand-up meetings. It was the only way to kind of really see if we were in sync all across the board. Our first week, we did not have our weekly stand-up, and we also did not complete our customer journey UI. And that's something we tried to do before the 17th, but it did not happen. So that bled into sprint 2. And as you can see, our burn rate, we were behind schedule towards the end because of those 2 items. Can you go to the next slide? Okay. Okay, similar concept. This one was a little bit more intense. It had about 20 different line items that we wanted to accomplish. Unfortunately, doing sprint 2, we did have some hiccups where we were not in sync. As you could see, we were very much delayed. And out of a total of 20 items on your bottom right, we accomplished 11. So as you could see, by the time it was Thursday, March 24th for Deliverable 2, there were 9 items that were outstanding, as opposed to we should have been down to 0, meaning our burn rate, we would have been on track with our burn rate. But those 9 items, some of them ended up being pushed out as far as like low priority items, and others we had to play catch up. So again, out of 20 tasks in scope for sprint 2, 11 were fully completed. The remaining 9 were assessed and moved to sprint 3. And other low priority items were moved to backlog instead of sprint 3. Okay, you can go to the next slide, please. Okay, and for sprint 3, because we were in a sense of urgency to catch up and get things right, the big milestone for us was the technical paper, but also we also had to play catch up on the actual project. So with that being said, we had about 13 tasks that needed to be completed. We were very much ahead of schedule. As you could see on Sunday, 3/25, on your bottom right, we were, by that Sunday, a week late, basically a week out, we were expected to have 7 items left. We ended up having only 6 left. And then by the following week, we wanted to have only 1 remaining item available, due, which we ended up being ahead of schedule slightly by. So overall, we started tracking well. By Thursday, when the paper was due, we were pretty much ahead of schedule as far as that. Can you go to the next slide? And last but not least, the most recent sprint, because it's the final milestone, obviously there's a lot more due. So we had about 18 items that were due. Overall, this is just tightening up the overall presentation, making revisions to past decks that we put together, also cleaning up our customer journeys, et cetera, et cetera. Overall, with sprint 4, we did track pretty well. Everyone was pretty mindful that it was the last opportunity to get everything where we needed it to be. So overall, we tracked pretty much on schedule. We were slightly ahead of schedule as of the 24th. We ended up not necessarily falling behind, but we ended up playing catch up as of by the 1st. So our sprints were divided into weekly tasks. People had to do X, Y, and Z within that time frame. Because everyone has different schedules, we realized, even though the professor mentioned that we could do it by hours, it wasn't realistic for us just because of our needs. So we just did it based on overall task. So it's, at the end of the day, it was either done or it wasn't, regardless how long or however you got to it. And last is our product roadmap, I'm sorry, our product backlog, so to speak. So the main things we have left over is going to be, we want to implement the we want to find an API to implement Google articles in our feed. So when you do search for a specific company, that company also generates articles from Google, and the goal for it to be credible sources as well. So in addition to just finding out all of the SRIs associated with a specific company, you'll also be able to read some articles, the latest articles about that company as well. We also would like to add a database. So it was going to be on the cloud. Ideally, we're going to end up going with AWS. That's going to require us to create a data schema. And last but not least, you know, if we get to a point where we're way ahead of schedule, we would like to take a stab at potentially seeing what AI tool we could leverage, just to optimize it better. That honestly is not 100% flushed out yet, but it's a thought. And depending on workload and how it goes, we would like to take a stab at it to see where we end up. Overall, this is what's going to carry us into the fall. And all the different changes that we want to make. And also, one of the big things we want to call out, we need to make changes to our UI. We want to dress it up a little bit better, play with the CSS, and kind of like study that and figure out how to actually really build out a full-blown front end that's super user-friendly. Overall, these are the main items we have right now, but this list is going to extend over time as we start to break down these tasks even more. So these parent tasks are also going to have, these stories are also going to have like childs associated with them when we put it in Jira. Overall, this is where we are as far as a product backlog. And also the next person that's going to walk through the remainder of the deck is going to be Kush, and off to you, Kush. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to present retrospective for this deliverable. So what went during this sprint was the modifications and the changes which we planned to do during the sprint were done with the agreement of all the team members, which was a must as it was about the whole website. And also collaboration between team members regarding the work that is assigned to individual and completion of our task, and the availability also improved for every member. Each task was discussed with the team to start avoiding going back and forth and making it hectic for us. And what needs to improve? The integration of a particular individual member, the assigned task that they have, work on it should be less time consuming as compared to what it is right now. And we are also, as a group, thinking about changing the styling details of our deliverable. And also updating the GitHub on timely basis should be improved, and it should be done timely, in a timely manner, and all the documents we are presenting will be moving forward, updated on timely manner. The next steps that we're planning to do for the next fall are we're trying to see different ways of adding extra features. So we're gonna set up more meetings and do a little brainstorming on the side for adding any extra features if we can think that would make our website look better and give a better experience to the user. And also we are looking out constantly for reliable and effective website domain with cost efficient criteria and everything. So since we haven't been able to complete it yet, we're also planning for finishing that particular task in next sprint. The next slide is going to be future tasks. It will be explained in detail by Kiran. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Kiran and I'm here to present regarding the future work of our project. Here are the few functionalities that we are going to implement in the future. And we are going to convert the tabular financial data into graphs and different user visualizations. And we're going to compare two different companies parallelly within SR website. And the front end of SRA website has to be updated, like more CSS styles, user friendly, and search engine optimization. And also the user login page should be created so that the user preference stored and user can access it later. And generate, and the another one aspect we are thinking about is generating Google News articles related to stock company entered within the application. These are the few aspects we are going to present in the near future. And yeah, thanks everyone.